Hi, listeners. It's part 3 of our anxiety cycle of the lies we tell ourselves. Part 1 helped us to look at the have tos we tell ourselves versus the choose tos, looking at more mindfulness to get more self control and more conscious, decisive thought into everyday life so we can slow down and actually look at what we're choosing to prioritize. Part 2 looks at the fear of abandonment and rejection, how that plays into situations. And part 3 looks at the fear of imperfection. So the lies you tell yourself in order to believe that A, you are perfect, B, your life is perfect, or to show someone that you're perfectly content and happy. So if we think about it, in everyday life, people always ask you, how are you? And the response is, I'm well, or I'm good, right? If we think about it, how often does someone ask, how are you? And how often is your status or your status quo response, your status quo response of, we're good, we well. But actually, how are you really? Okay? What do you want the world to see versus what's really there? What do you want your family to see versus what is really there? What do you want your best friend to see versus what is really there? And in that, where is the divide between the story you're trying to present to the outer world versus the real story that's in the inner world? And I'll say that with full awareness that it's not healthy to go out there and tell everybody your inward stories, because trust and discretion is left to the people who are in your trust inbox, so to speak. You should only be sharing things with people that you trust, right? Because if you just share your most intimate personal things with anybody, that's actually inappropriate, right? It's actually not their business, and now suddenly they're sitting with information that's actually not theirs to sit with. So it can actually make other people feel hugely uncomfortable. But at the same time, it is important for you to be real and to be honest with yourself about what's really happening in your world, and to be able to convey that honestly to your inner circle, your trust inbox, and to really give them an honest account of where you're at. Sometimes you might not even know, and time might be short, you might be rushed, but just know that something's off kilter. You can at least give them that much, rather than trying to show them a picture that you're perfect, that everything's perfect, that your families are perfect, that everything that's going on in your life is perfect, that your career is perfect. You're trying to say to them, I have nothing in my life that I'm frustrated by, irritated by. If that's the truth, then you're probably hugely detached from your life, and you're probably ignoring things that are actually quite relevant. And what that's doing is it's actually blocking people from being able to engage with the real you. And it's actually keeping people at a distance as opposed to letting them in. Okay, so let's think about that. If you want to show the world that you're perfect, you want them not to feel pity for you or sad for you or empathize with you. That's a very natural emotion. But somehow deep inside you feel like it's not okay, that you could appear weak or less than. That's your issue. That's your deeper rooted issue. Where was a time in your life where you received the message that it's not okay to have something wrong, or it's not okay to look vulnerable? That's not sustainable. There will always be seasons in life in which you're more vulnerable. And life is about identifying vulnerability and supporting and loving through vulnerability, not giving the message of you are not allowed to be vulnerable. Because after all, how are your inner circle and your inner village able to be there for you if you're never vulnerable? How are you able to be there for them if they're never vulnerable? It's a two-way street. So catch the lies you tell yourself. Catch yourself every time you have this urge to look like everything's okay. And maybe just tell yourself in the interim, is this really perfection? Or actually, is it blocking a deeper relationship with this person? I challenge you to that. Take care of yourselves.